You said in your word, if we lack wisdom, we can ask of you, and you would give to all men liberally and not rebuke them for asking. So, Father, I ask for wisdom for this commission, the decisions that are before them. Father, I ask that you open their minds to your thoughts and what you have to say in your direction. And we ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Nash, you will lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner Sear?
Here.
Commissioner Hovey Wright?
Here.
Commissioner Hughes?
Here.
Commissioner Larry?
Here.
Vice Chair Nash?
Here.
Commissioner Pagel?
Here.
Chairman Stolman?
Here.
8 present.
Okay, and Commissioner Wilkins is of course excused. Okay, the first item is the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have support. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? If not, we'll do a voice vote on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the agenda is approved. Next is approval of the regular and closed session minutes of June 29th.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion and support on the approval of the regular and closed session minutes. Are there any questions or comments? You received a copy of the closed session minutes just a little bit ago. If not, we'll do a voice vote on that too. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Next, we have public comment on an agenda item. You have anyone who would like to make public comment on an agenda item, you have 2 minutes. I don't have any sheets, so I don't see anybody in the audience. Is there anybody online? Okay, so there is no one, right? Correct. Okay. That's a first. We'll move on to committee and board reports. First up is courts and public safety. Commissioner Pagel.
The Courts and Public Safety Committee met on July 13th, 2021. It was recommended, and I move CPS 21/07-37 through CPS 21/07-42. Motion to
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support from, oh, my bad.
No, okay, yeah, no, we've had a motion for all of those and they've been supported. Are there any comments or corrections on any of those items 37 through 42? If not, I think we probably should have a roll call on this with some money involved.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes,
Fennel?
on all, yes.
Commissioner Sear?
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Hovey Wright?
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Larry?
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Nash?
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Pagel?
Yes, on all.
Chairman Stolman?
Yes, on all.
8 yes, 0 no, on 37 through 42.
Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Pagel. The next item is the report of the Human Services Committee. Chair of that committee is Commissioner Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Human Services Committee met on July 13th, 2021, and it was recommended, and I move HS 21/07-12 through 14.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion made for items 12 through 14. It's been supported by Commissioner Nash. Are there any comments, corrections, anything on this? If not, Linda, if you would do a roll call on that, please.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes, not all.
Commissioner Heavy Wright,
Yes on all?
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Larry,
Yes, on all.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes on all.
and Chairman Skolnick.
Yes on all.
8 yes, 0 no, 12 through 14.
That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mrs. Heavyweight. Okay, the final committee report is Ways and Means, and Commissioner Seer, Chair section.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I just need to make it known I have to recuse myself from WM 21/0773.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Ways and Means Committee met on July 13, 2021. It was recommended, and I move on items WM 21/07-70, 71, 72, and 73.
all right, we've had Ways and Means Committee Chair made a motion to approve 70, 71, 72, 73. It's been supported. Are there any comments or concerns on any of these?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry.
This has left us in a bit of a quandary. So item number 73, I'm opposed to this particular issue. My community wants it. I don't particularly want it. If this issue goes forward, so it'll probably pass. Okay, I was thinking we were down, folks, but it'll still pass, so I'll reserve my comment.
Okay. Anybody else? Linda, if you could do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Heavy Wright,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Larry,
Yes on 70, 71, and 72, no on number 73.
Vice Chair Nash,
Yes, on all.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes on 70, 71, 72, recused, and 73.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes on all.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes on 70, 71, 72, no on 73.
$78 yes, 0 no, 70.
Linda, do I get to vote?
My apologies, yes, you
Sometimes I'd
do.
rather not vote, but today I would. So,
Chairman Skolnick.
yes, on all.
70, 8 yes, 0 no, 71, 8 yes, 0 no, 72, 8 yes, 0 no, 73, 5 yes, 2 no, 1 recusal.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll move to item 9, Chairman's report, and are there any committee liaison reports? Would anybody like to talk about any of their additional assignments? Okay, I have a few items on my report. This is the beginning of the 4-day annual Muskegon Bike Time event. It'll be from the 15th to the 18th at Hot Rod Harley Davidson, ending with a nonstop police escort Patriot Ride Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and Rebel Road will be held downtown. It's blocked off now, July 16th through July 18th. Next item is the Muskegon Clippers have a home baseball game against the Michigan Monarchs at 7 o'clock on the 16th, tomorrow night. It's a great way to see Muskegon's historic Marsh Field and some exciting and high quality baseball. And the final item is The Muskegon Astronomical Society Star Party will be held at the Muskegon County Resource Recovery Center at 702 North Maple Island Road on July 17th, beginning at 9:30 p.m. It says here, bring your telescope and enjoy, but Mrs. Hughes, you're the expert on wastewater
Stars.
property.
They do have telescopes there for it to use, and they have a big telescope that comes up and, yeah. They will have telescopes, but they do have stands for you to bring your own telescope.
If nobody's been out there, they actually have a pretty significant observatory
They
there.
do, and they also have a camera set up that is filming what the telescope sees, and it's on the wall, of course, so you can see it like a movie. So they're very informative and very helpful. They do a great job.
Okay, that's it for my report. Next up is the administrator. Yes, yes.
I just wanted to add, these for the Clippers home game. That field have seen some upgrades over the last couple of years. It's looking really nice. They've got some concessions upgrades. They also serve some beverages. And I've seen that field pretty much pretty well packed at different games consistently. So if you're gonna go, make sure you get there early enough. But get out and see some of the upgrades that they've done out there. But it's on the corner of Peck and Laketon. So I just went by there the other day when they had a big game. It was pretty well packed and attended.
Do they sell beer?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They do.
They do.
Beer and hot dogs and chips,
Yes, they do.
full dinner.
But like I said, some of those stations have been upgraded too. So it's been looking pretty good out there.
Thank you. Next up is the administrator's report, and
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
I'll take it. You just handed out an agreement for lease premises and providing a fixed base operation services. Before I make a motion, I'm going to ask our airport manager, Joel Burgess, to explain what this is about. We also have our attorney, Scott Hogan, here. We also have Terry Ford joining us. We also have the new company, which I'll let them introduce themselves as we go through this process with Flight Level Aviation. So I'm going to need Joe Burgess.
You already did.
All right,
Sure.
Joe, explain what this is all about, please.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to talk today. This is a good opportunity for the airport in Muskegon. We currently have two leases that sort of ride side by side with each other. One is actually the FBO and concession agreement. The other one is a land lease agreement that sort of rides again parallel to the FBO agreement. This is a good opportunity to do a number of things within the agreements. One is to tie the two agreements together, which really simplifies the entire operation into one master agreement. It also gives the county the opportunity to introduce some current FAA language and also to introduce some other terms into the agreement that we think would be beneficial to both parties and really encourage the growth of the FBO operation out here at the airport. So in this case, we've included and are suggesting some capital improvement language that will survive throughout the term of the lease. So if the buyer, the purchaser, were to make some capital improvements to the facilities out here at the airport, which would benefit everyone, they're able to realize a longer term under the lease. So that's a good thing for both parties, improve facilities here at the airport. And hopefully as the FBO continues to grow, or the fixed base operation continues to grow, then that would mean more money to the airport. So as we were going through this process, I did look at the market rentals to see if we were on par with a couple of things. I guess the saying is you've seen one airport, you've seen one airport. So it's hard a little bit to compare FBO operations between airports, but our agreement here in Muskegon includes rental for facilities that the county owns. There's a land rental component, and then there's a commission component. So as the operator generates revenue, the county realizes a share of that revenue as well. So if you blend all of those revenues together with the county, we are actually on par with our peer airports in the region in terms of if you were to put that dollar amount into a dollar per square foot rate, we are very much on track. And that just tells me that the consumer price index adjustments that are built into the agreement are keeping up. So that's a good thing to see. We're able to make sure that we meet the current terms of the FAA. So we're bound by grant assurances here at the airport for any agreements that we do. So we need to be fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory with any agreements we do. And that's because the FAA requires it, and we accept federal dollars to improve the airport. So in exchange for that, we're required to live by a number of grant assurances. And what this also does is we need to be careful in that any language or any business terms we include in commercial agreements or even non-commercial agreements, we need to be ready to set precedent, because once we treat one operator here at the airport a certain way or provide them certain privileges or terms under the agreement, we just need to make sure that we're prepared to do that with anyone else that comes to the airport and wants to do business. So all in all, we've reviewed the agreement. I think it's a solid deal, and I think that's really all for my report at this time, unless there are any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Susie?
I do. This is County of Muskegon, the State of Michigan, and leasing. The leasing that was in that position before was in the process of purchasing that from executive heir. And is he the one that is transferring this? And is he paid off executive heir? Or are we, I don't want to, and I see the original owner of executive heir here. I don't want to put Rex on the hook, but are you okay with this?
No, thank you. Everything that I've found out so far is up and up, and I think, like Joel said, it's a good move to the county.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
We also have our attorney, Scott Hogan, on. Would you be willing to, he's the one that wrote quite a bit of the changes in this contract along with.
Does anyone else have any? I have a question. There's something. What about routine maintenance on these properties? Is there we'll say there's a $5 broken window, I don't know, who's responsible for that?
Well, I'm more than happy to discuss this, but Scott Hogan is probably.
The lessee would be responsible for routine maintenance under this agreement.
Okay, is there, so what is routine maintenance?
Basically, as the way we've defined it here, it'd be anything under $1,000.
That's what I was looking for. Okay.
There's some reason that we don't know who the new leasee is.
I was like, this is blank. There's like nothing.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is this just a written copy, because I don't see any numbers.
There's no numbers.
And there's no
Numbers or
name.
names.
That was my question. There's no names, there's no numbers.
Right, so let's introduce flight level aviation. Give a little background on who flight level aviation is.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. It's great to be with you. I am the founder and CEO of Flight Level Aviation. We started in 2007 at a little airport outside of Boston called Norwood Memorial Airport. And since then, we've grown now to 10 locations, mostly in the Northeast. We had one location in Florida, which we sold a few years back. And we've been looking for opportunities to venture westward. And we met the owner of Fly by Air's, how it's branded, and decided that was a great opportunity. We have a history of what I like to think of as impeccable service, and our locations have grown dramatically. We weathered the storm of the Great Recession in 08-09, starting in our second year, which was a great learning experience for getting through tough times, and it actually was a blessing in disguise. Although if you told me at the time that it would be, I would never have believed you. We just went through something similar with the whole COVID pandemic. We saw all of our business drop for at least 3 or 4 months up to 50, 60%. But we persevered through that, and actually in the post-pandemic economy, private air travel has really blossomed. The loss for the commercial airlines and people not wanting to get into a pressurized tube with 200 others has been our gain. And as I like to tell a lot of people, once you've tasted private aviation, it's pretty tough to go back. So our business, our profit centers are selling fuel at reasonable prices, developing hangars, leasing hangars. We have a very good partner who's involved in this transaction in Muskegon that runs charter companies, aircraft management businesses, maintenance, as well as flight schools. So all of that is mixed into our vision for Muskegon. And we're very much looking forward to growing business at the airport and improving the airport in every way we can. I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions, anyone? I think, you know, the county is very interested in making our airport as successful as possible. And we're hoping you'll help with that.
That is also our hope.
Right. Win-win.
So getting into the details here, Scott, do you have the document with the numbers filled in on page 9?
I do not have those numbers yet. What I was, because we just put it together in this form in the last few days, what I was hoping is that the board could approve an FBO agreement and lease with Flight Level or one of its affiliates, subject to corporate council approval and the negotiation of rates by administration. But we don't have final numbers yet.
Okay,
So that's one option. The other option is Chairman Skolnick suggested having another board meeting when those numbers are.
like we could have a special board meeting to approve that. If you're more comfortable doing that, it's fine with me.
I'm definitely more comfortable.
Okay.
Why don't we make a motion?
Plus, we need a little bit more time to review this.
We need a motion for that.
Before we do that, I'd like the opportunity for Terry to explain the timeline.
Could you say your name, sir? I think you didn't say your name.
Sure, Peter Eichley,
Peter Eichley, E-I-K?
Eichley. My wife still gets the spelling wrong.
E-I-C-H-L-A-Y.
L-E-A-Y, yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having us today. I think it is important to know that, you know, with an FBO operation and having to come to a public body such as this to get approval, that has to be done prior to closing of the transaction. And what that does is it provides public information to our competitors, and it also made us, you know, inform our employees of what's going on. So we have a lot of people now that are watching this very closely, and to put it off would be a detriment from competition standpoint. So we have 30 families that are watching this and hoping that it gets resolved quickly. So I would encourage you to, you know, approve it with conditions today, because we are scheduled to close next week. So I know it's tough. I know you're just getting it, but you have very good counsel, and we can work through the dirty details, as they say. And it won't be worse for the airport than it is now, obviously. It's actually, as Joe Burgess said, a much better agreement.
If there's anyone, you know, what I'm thinking right this minute is that we call a special meeting for next Tuesday. And
Yeah, be more comfortable with that.
our attorney should be able to work this out. We could finalize it on Tuesday. That still gives you time to close on the 22nd.
That would be great.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Would it be okay if our buyers zoom in on that? They do travel from the East Coast, and they flew in today just for this meeting.
I think I'm gonna give you more than one tonight.
Did you have a comment?
I didn't get his name, and then answering his question, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to zoom in. But
Okay, Terry Boer,
Terry Boer,
yeah, B-O-E-R.
thank you.
And you're with, Terry, you.
I'm the owner of Fly By Air.
So if we do meet
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
And I don't know what other, I didn't.
We have Ways and Means and Community Development.
So we'll have a special
So we
board
can
meeting.
Do a special meeting before
those
that,
meetings.
like at 3:30.
yeah.
I'll make a motion that we meet next Tuesday at 3:30 before Ways and Means to finalize this. And can we have the Zoom set up for the other folks to
I'll
Zoom in?
support that.
Okay, we have a motion to meet next Tuesday at 3:30. Special board meeting just to consider this item at 3:30 with Zoom, our normal Zoom setup that's up anyway.
Before we go, can I have a comment?
Yes, sir.
So does this meet the deadline? I mean, you're gonna have to provide what we're asking for, the numbers. You're gonna have to have this filled in for this meeting Tuesday. Is that gonna be a problem with your competition in closing this deal? Because it'll be public at that meeting.
No, that'll work fine.
Any other?
I do have one more
Yes,
question.
yes, go ahead.
Unfortunately, I made a motion. So backing up, page 8, 9, the term of the agreement and a renewal term, but is there any kind of a severability? I don't see that language, and forgive me, I've read this over twice, but kind of just scanned it. I don't know if corporate counsel or someone can answer that.
Yeah, Joel or Scott? Did you hear the question?
I did not.
The termination part of this contract.
I've read on page 8 and 9, the term of the agreement and a renewal term, but what type of severability is there? I don't really see that in there. Am I missing something, or is that just not an option?
I guess I'm not sure what you're asking. Severability meaning you can do different parts. There's a termination provision at the end if the tenant defaults.
What page is that? I might have missed it. What page is that?
It is on. It's on page 23, 24, and 25. It's Article XVII or 27.
Page 27.
23 through 27 on my copy.
You know, I would like to, for anybody who's watching this either online or in the audience, we were just handed these. This has been going on for a while. That we just got the final document.
Starts on 23.
Just
Okay.
we-
Thank you.
Mark did email it to us, but it's still not filled out, so we really didn't have any information.
All right, so we've got a motion on the floor for a 3:30 meeting next Tuesday. Anybody else? If not.
Yeah, that's upon termination. I guess I mean early termination. I read those. That's not what my question was.
The motion was supported.
Yes,
Yes,
Commissioner
I
Hughes.
supported it.
All right, we'll just have a voice vote on that. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, great.
That's all I had on my topic. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is unfinished business.
Mark should have another question.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
Mark.
I just wondered how many of the people involved here live in Muskegon? Are they all from out of town? No.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
You're awesome.
I'm from Maine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You know, if I could add, I'm involved with Mr. Bohr in other Michigan purchases. Muskegon is not the only purchase. Falls is also being finished in another city in Michigan city. So this is going to be a major operation for us. And we do come here because we have our own transportation, so we can get.
You know, I have another question. Peter, is that your best? How many employees do you have altogether
Currently just under 100.
in all the locations?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good then with that. The next item is unfinished business. I don't have any unfinished business. I don't think there is any.
I have a question, Mr. Chair. I was just given this from Tina. Right when the meeting came in. I understand I can't use certain verbiage. However, I find one thing that's inaccurate on what Ms. Tina gave us. I don't know how we address that. But anyway, I have a discrepancy in the minutes.
We already approved those.
I know, but I hadn't read it. Or Linda, I'm sorry, not Tina, my bad.
We can get with.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I cover that before it's too late out of this meeting.
It's major.
All right, the next item after that is new business. Does anyone have any new business?
Mr. Chair, just some new business, some updates. Commissioner Susie Hughes and I met with the Gypsy Moth meeting yesterday afternoon. And there was a lot of interest from the different municipalities were in attendance. And just like to say, Mark did a wonderful job in facilitating, and maybe you could give the rest of the commission an update on yesterday's afternoon meeting.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and we had staff there as well. Rob Ribbons, he's our environmental planner. And he's been doing, I think it's 30 years in with the county. He did a lot of this work, about 20 years. Explained that to the group. And we had people from Eggleston, Muskegon Township, Fruitport, Moreland, Holton, White River, Fruitland, and just a couple of them there. Cedar Trees and Lakeland Township. So it was a really good turnout. There's a lot of good discussion. The leaves are starting to come back. If you've been out there, you notice the leaves are starting to come back. But the group is very interested in what we can do for next year. We'll do this around May. And so they're going to go back to their own boards and discuss what they would like to do. It lasted a good probably an hour at a time there. So there's a lot of good discussion throughout the meeting. And they was very happy that we took the time to meet with them and see what we can do. So everybody's really going back to see what kind of funding they can come up with to make some type of push to encourage everybody to participate. Yes.
Why was it so bad this year? When you drive on 30 north to 31, and I mean, there's no leaves on the trees. So I'm glad to hear they're coming back.
The guy from the county, that was Rob Ribbles, was here 20 years ago when they came the first time. So, and he said they only come back in a cycle. So they really haven't been here for the last few years at all.
I know. I didn't.
So this is, and they run in 3-year cycles.
Yeah, be a couple.
So it'll be a couple more years, but the leaves will come back. He said sometimes your evergreen trees won't come back, but your oaks will.
And you gotta, where you know where to spray next spring will determine on the eggs that we see this fall. So if you have residents coming to you asking about it, tell them look for those eggs and turn it into Rob Ribbons. He's gonna keep track on a GPS map where all these eggs are showing up. So they'll have a place identified to spray next year.
I guess the thing, I don't know if the other commissioners here have had, I know Mr. Sear and I've had some discussion. People in our community have been concerned about what's going on because it's going to get worse if nothing happens at this time. So I know they're looking for bids for air. Just throwing that out there.
You got any crop dust?
In case you guys know anyway. So Mark, thank you again. Appreciate it. Just want to give everybody here an update. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Next item is public comment.
Excuse me,
Yes.
I have some new business.
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to, in light of recent events here at the boardroom, I'd like to make a motion that we keep personal business out of our official county business meetings.
I second that.
All right, so we have a motion to keep personal business.
It means it doesn't pertain to the county business.
I'm not sure.
That's
Well,
well
where there's a
defined.
lot of focus
Please
on.
address the chair with, get recognized.
Yeah, I mean, I have you talked to our corporate counsel about the wording of that?
Yes,
Okay,
We didn't see that ahead of time.
pardon me.
We haven't seen that ahead of time, so we can get clarification.
Oh, so we would refer this to committee.
If we like, I guess we can do that.
Okay.
Has
So
to be in
you're
writing and
making-
ahead of time.
You're making a motion to say whatever the motion is, so that.
The motion is to keep personal business out of official county business meetings.
which committee?
That needs to be defined.
This has been such a great.
We have to reserve committee.
Refer back to Ways and Means.
I'm not exactly sure what to do. We're gonna have to refer this to a committee and try to figure out exactly what personal business means.
Yeah. Good idea.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Well,
Let's play some of the meetings back. The recent
yeah,
meetings.
I'd like to know, I guess I would like to know, what do you consider personal business?
I would refer just to the business that we've been, the last 2 or 3 meetings that we've been discussing and spending our time on. We should have been spending time on things that are, you know, for the work of the county that we were hired to do.
Agree.
So this motion is the opposite of that.
It's to secure our
It's just
county
wasting
time.
again. On some stuff we don't need to
It's a
do.
preventative measure.
That's what waste time going.
Chair for comment.
Sorry.
Mr. Chair,
yes.
I think for clarification's sake, from what I'm understanding, Commissioner Sears' motion is a preventative measure so that personal business does not come address against to our board and take up future time, and so that our meetings are relative to only Commissioner County business.
I understand what he's saying. I just, I think we really need to define what personal business is, because that can encompass anything.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, yes, especially when, I mean, I know we're referring to Mr. Laring's post, homophobic posts, and that affects the reputation of our entire board at the whole, you know, the whole state level and this county, and there's repercussions. It's not just personal business. It's setting a really low standard for behavior.
We need, I think, okay, you've made a suggestion for a motion.
He made a motion and it was seconded.
Right, and we will refer that to the Human Services Committee. And
We have to
He said Ways and Means.
Well, that's my fault. It's not his fault.
Oh, okay, fine.
And we will, I want to get an opinion from Mike Homier, and then we'll move ahead with it. I mean, that's fair.
I'm happy with that.
Thank you. Okay.
You have to vote, there's a motion.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Okay, yeah, Linda, if we could have a roll call.
Commissioner Hughes,
No,
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nash,
No.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Harvey Wright,
No,
Chairman Skolnick.
No.
Well, that fails.
4-4.
Okay. Commissioner Seer,
Yes, sir.
I understand why you're doing that. And I just want to, before we proceed with that, because it may be a great idea, I just want to get some legal opinion on what we can do if we don't dig ourselves into a worse hole. So.
No, I
and I
totally
thank
agree.
you for bringing it up. 'cause
I
it
did
is-
mention it
and
to
I've-
council. He said that sounded like it was an okay motion. He didn't comment on it.
I've had numerous comments from citizens about we need to stop.
Yeah, also myself.
this will start it again.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Public comment on anything. Is anybody there? I hope not.
Jason Hall.
Either one, yes.
Okay. I can't see who it is.
Jason Hall.
Mr. Hall. You have 2 minutes.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Jason Hall, Moreland Township, Muskegon County. It would have been nice if that little resolution would have been accepted. It doesn't matter. Sullivan versus New York Times, 1964 Supreme Court case. Your corporate counsel can look that one up. Publication from a private citizen can call an elected official anything they want. Would it be nice to get back into working on what we need? Yeah, that'd be nice. Mr. Skolnick, Chairman, if people want to come on here and make comments. The last thing they want to hear is I hope there's nobody out there that wants to say anything. It's kind of offensive. I mean, that's your job to listen to us, but that's all I had to say. Sullivan versus New York Times, 1964 Supreme Court case. Thank you.
Okay, final board comment.
Final board comment.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is why I voted no on that, because I guess this would technically be considered personal business, but I just wanted to let the board know that in the township park in my neighborhood, I put up a little free library. And the kids were at it practically before I could leave. And every day since then, for the last 4 days, I put new books in it. And I've already had people contact me and say, you just got little kids' books in there. So now I already have another one started. I'm gonna put adult books in it. So, I just think it's a really great thing for the community and it's kind of a personal thing. So that's why but I just wanted to tell you, if you're thinking about that, it's a great thing.
Be careful what adult folks.
I'm very careful. I am very careful with books I put in there.
Mr. Chair, if every, within reason, if everybody can keep us informed about Commissioner Wilkins and her
Yes.
health.
Yes.
And prayers are with her, and I hope she knows that, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, adjourned to the call of the board, so I call you adjourned.